Welcome into Ricky's Mailbag. I want you to like and subscribe over here. Don't forget to do that because you can get hooked up with all our other 97.5 shows and see what they're up to each and every day. On this, Dylan McKinnon, our esteemed, we'll call him a producer because he loves to produce these. He has questions from you, the people, that come in about the Phillies, and I sit here and I try to answer them to the best of my abilities. You could send them in to Dylan, and we'll take care of it. You'll get on the list and maybe hear your name. Dylan, what do we got?
Okay, so Phillies drafted Gage Wood, and there's always been a lot of talk of people saying he could be here this season. So our crazy house wants to know, can Gage Wood be in the bullpen this season?
You know what? He is a seasoned college player. I think that's one thing that the Phillies went for this year is a lot of college players, and the one thing they want to do is have guys that are close to ready come up to the big league level. I think they have enough players in their lower minor league system now that are growing, and I think that takes a little bit of time. But, in all honesty, that's a big jump. Going from the college level just to the minors is a jump. Going from the college level all the way up to the big leagues is a huge jump. Now, there's two ways to look at this. Number one, he's obviously got a live arm. Threw a no-hitter in the College World Series, 19 strikeouts. So we know he can get people out. How much seasoning does he need? That has a lot of questioning in the fact of, are his mechanics good? Do they want to change anything on him? Do they want him to change anything in his style of pitching? If that's the case, probably not. If they like what they've seen and they like his mechanics and they think his head is on straight, then I wouldn't be overly surprised if they do give somebody like that a shot coming up to the big league level at the end of the season. Now, the other thing is, it is mid to late July here. By the time he gets signed and everything, it's anywhere from a week to 10 days. By the time he's pitching in a game, it could be 2 weeks, right? So you're talking about the beginning of August. That gives him exactly 1 month to be called up to the big leagues, to be eligible to play in the playoffs. So I look at this in a couple different ways. If they like what they see right away, they might fast pace him. They might send him up to Double-A, see if he gets a job done there, maybe for 4 or 5 games. If he's throwing the ball well there, then that jump is possible. But, I mean, this isn't seen all the time. This is something that doesn't happen every single day. And the other thought process is, are they drafting him to use him big time this year? Do you want to start a kid's clock right away? There's a lot of business questions that they have to ask themselves on top of this. And I think if you're looking for a savior, this is not necessarily the greatest way to do it. There have been guys that have done it before, but it is what it is. He's a college pitcher right now that is just turning pro, and he needs a lot of things to go right for him to get up here by the end of August.
Okay, Kurt wants to know, who moves to the bullpen in the playoffs?
Well, Kurt, let's start with who doesn't. Zach Wheeler is my number one. He's not going anywhere in my eyes. I think Christopher Sanchez has proven his point. He's thrown the ball extremely well. He's been one of the most consistent pitchers on this Phillies staff. Ranger Suarez, same thing. I think, in a sense, Ranger could move in there if you need him for like a game, 5 or 7 in certain series. But I think Ranger is in my starting rotation right now. He's just been way too good. He's thrown the baseball better than he has in his whole career. So I keep him in the starting rotation the whole way through. But those would be my main 3 pitchers in the starting rotation. You go a little further than that. Let's go with Aaron Nola. What do you think Aaron Nola is doing right now? My whole point is he going to get back even by August? And if he does, this is basically another start of a spring training for him. He's missed so much time. He's missed all that throwing time. So now you're sitting in an area where, okay, what do I do? What do I do with Aaron Nola? How about this? How about you just get him to a 50 pitch limit and use him as a middle guy in the bullpen now? That's the only way Aaron Nola is going to the bullpen, I think. And the other thing is about Aaron Nola, I do not believe you're going to put him in high-pressure situations. He gives up too many home runs, makes too many mistakes. So that's one thing you want to stay away from. The other guy, Jesus Luzardo, I think he definitely goes in the bullpen at one point or another. But you also have to be careful of bringing him on with men on base. He has struggled at times this season with men on base. So pitching out of the stretch, he's had his struggles. So that's always going to sit in the back of my mind. That's something that you should think about also when trying to do that. And Taiwan Walker is automatically going to be in the bullpen anyways. He's pitched all right this year. I can't even blame him. He's been kind of a yo-yo going in different directions. But like I said, I would stick to those main three and then try to piecemeal the rest of them together.
Okay, Joe wants to know what potential hitter that they could acquire at the deadline intrigues you the most.
Okay, let's start with Byron Buxton. Very intriguing. He's one of those guys, but he's already come out and said that he's not waiving his no trade clause. And he's going to be a Minnesota Twin for his career. So he's out. You look at a guy like Rooker. I think he's probably the most intriguing guy that you could find around. But the A's, they're going to be moving apparently to Las Vegas. And I say apparently because I won't believe it until they break down and they make a stadium. When you think about him, it would probably be a multi-year deal, and that would pretty much clean out your prospects. I don't know how much the Phillies are willing to completely clean out their prospects, but there's always two sides to a story. Would the A's want to make that move? That's to be seen also. There are not a ton of guys out there. That's probably the biggest problem there is. And the guys, I just mentioned two big name guys. That's going to cost you an arm and a leg one way or the other. There's no trade clauses on one side. There's a guy that's got 50 RBIs at the All-Star break and Brent Rooker on the other side. And, the Phillies not only need a right-handed hitter, but you're also talking about, they need a little something else. They need some relief help too. So there's a couple moves that need to be made. I just don't know if the Phillies are going to be into the big money guys in those type of situations. And that's a little concerning to me at times, but you just never know. I mean, Dave Dombrowski has been good at times, and then for this left field position has not been good throughout his time here with the Phillies.
Speaking of left field, they have issues in left field. They have issues in center field.
Yeah.
If you could only replace one, so you either keep Brandon Marsh or keep Max Kepler, which one do you think is more important to upgrade?
Here's the issue. And it's kind of like a team issue, an organization issue. If you do get rid of Kepler, that's going to get you absolutely nothing back. He's on a 1-year deal. He'd be a rental player for 2 months for a team at best. And I just don't think it's going to equate to anything. I think in Brandon Marsh, at least there's some time there for people to use him for a couple years. But I don't know how much he's going to get you either. It's very simple to look at this and say, oh, no big deal. We just get rid of everybody. It's never that simple. There's always something behind it. There's always a load behind it. There's always a truckload behind it sometimes that you have to move around and you have to think about. Am I happy with left field? No. Am I happy with center field? No. I would take either one. I mean, if you can go and get a Cedric Mullins from Baltimore, I would take that right now over the center field position. I would take a lot of things over the center field position. But you also have to understand that Brandon Marsh will probably be included in one of those trades. And I think he's one of those guys who's easily tradable, and there is certain value in a Brandon Marsh. Max Kepler, there's no value. There's no value because of what time of year it is, number one, and that he's only on a 1-year contract. So I think Brandon Marsh would be the guy you'd rather keep. But Max Kepler is probably going to be the one to stay or get DFA'd at some point.
Okay, and then final question. James wants to know, what rotations around the MLB do you think could compete with the Phillies rotation?
Well, I think Detroit. I think that's been kind of noticed. That's been known. Obviously, you got Tarek Skubal at the top of that one. That's a very good rotation. The Mariners have a very good rotation. But I mean, as far as 5 men go, I think the Phillies have one of the strongest there is in the league. I think that's one of the things that they do extremely well is starting pitching. And you even take Jesus Luzardo, if you're just going by percentages of his starts where he's been very good, I think he's got 2 really bad starts and then 2 kind of starts. So, I mean, you look at that and you say, well, he's a 70, 80% guy. I think you're pretty happy with that on top of it. Ranger Suarez has been unbelievable. Zach Wheeler has proven every single year he's been here that he is that good and he is an ace of the staff. And, I mean, I just find it very hard to believe. Let me put it this way. I said at the beginning of the season, when the New York Mets pitching staff was going that well, their starting rotation. I said there's no way that rotation's going to hold up. And I think I was pretty spot on that one. I think this Phillies rotation does hold up, and I think they may even get stronger after the break. So let's see how this goes. I love the rotation here in Philadelphia, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. All right, like and subscribe down here. This is Ricky's Mailbag. You can catch me, Silvana Kelleher, and Bill Colarulo on Unfiltered, 2 to 6, Monday through Friday, 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com, and NBC Sports Philadelphia.
What's up, everybody? It's Bill Colarulo from Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we post a ton of content. It's not just what you hear on air. We're posting content all day long. We do some things before the show, after the show, even stuff during the show. So subscribe, like, do whatever you got to do. We got all this content coming to you every single day.